Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom, gentle tales for your heart and mind. The sun dips low behind the distant hills. Shadows stretch and soften across the earth. The sky is a canvas of amber, rose, and violet, blending slowly into the approaching night. In a quiet meadow far from the clamor of the city, a traveler sits beneath an ancient tree. Its branches sway gently in the evening breeze, and the leaves murmur as if telling secrets. The traveler's eyes are closed. His breath matches the rhythm of the wind. He listens, truly listens, not just to the sounds of the world, but to the heartbeat of existence itself. And in that stillness, a voice seems to rise, soft and timeless, a voice older than the hills, yet intimate as a whisper in the ear. "Come closer," the voice says, "and let your soul remember." The traveler opens his eyes slowly and sees nothing but the soft glow of the meadow. Yet within him, a spark has been lit, a light that neither wind nor shadow can touch. He recalls the words of the master poet, Rumi, whose verses flow like rivers of gold. Each word carries a vibration, each pause a space for the heart to breathe. "Don't get lost in your thoughts," Rumi writes. "Let them come and go like clouds across the sky." The soul has a language that cannot be spoken with the tongue. It must be felt, must be lived. The traveler inhales deeply. He imagines himself a drop of water, joining the river of life, flowing without resistance, without worry, without expectation. He remembers another verse, "Wherever you are, and whatever you do, be in love." Not just love for another, not just love for beauty, but the deeper love that awakens in the soul when it recognizes itself in all things. The meadow grows darker. Stars begin to appear, like tiny lanterns hung in the night sky. The traveler feels a gentle pulse beneath his ribs. It is the rhythm of the universe and of his own heart. "Don't be satisfied with stories," another Rumi verse whispers. "How things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth." The traveler smiles, for he understands the invitation to live fully, to dive deep, to embrace the mystery of being. A breeze stirs the grass, as if the world itself is sighing, in agreement. Every leaf, every petal, every stone holds a secret of the eternal, verse waiting for the seeker's gaze. The traveler stands slowly, feeling the earth beneath his feet, steady and alive. He whispers a prayer, not with words, but with the opening of his heart. "Lead me," he says softly, "to the truth that flows beyond form, to the love that surpasses understanding, to the patience that teaches without speaking, to the joy that rises like dawn, even in the midst of shadow." And the wind answers, carrying the scent of jasmine and cedar, whispering Rumi's timeless words, "Be like a tree, grow in stillness, and bear fruit in silence." The night holds its breath. The stars shine more brightly, and the traveler, heart open, soul awake, takes his first step, the path of the poems of the soul. The traveler walks slowly along a narrow path, lined with wild flowers, their petals trembling in the cool night breeze. Each step feels deliberate, each breath a prayer. He remembers Rumi's words, Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you love. He feels that pull now, deep in his chest, like a soft ember glowing, waiting for the breath of understanding to ignite it. The path leads him to a hidden garden, walls of ivy climbing high, flowers that glow faintly in the moonlight, and fountains that murmur secrets in gentle, liquid tones. The garden feels alive. It's as if every stone, every leaf, every drop of water breathes with the soul of the universe. The traveler kneels beside a fountain. He cups the water in his hands, letting it slip through his fingers, watching the ripples spread across the surface. It reminds him of another verse of Rumi. Try to accept the changing seasons of your heart, and even as you would a tree that grows, loses its leaves, and blossoms again in its time, he closes his eyes, and for a moment he hears not the world outside, but the world within, a symphony of light and shadow, love and longing, joy and sorrow, woven together in a delicate, eternal dance. Rumi's words drift softly into his mind. The wound is the place where the light enters you. The traveler feels it now, the gentle ache of growth, the tender burn of transformation. It is not a pain to resist, but a doorway to the infinite. A gentle breeze stirs the flowers around him. Their fragrance drifts into the air, sweet, soft, and alive. It reminds him that love is not only in grand gestures, but in the subtle, quiet things. The ripple of water, the scent of jasmine, the warmth of the moon on your skin. He opens his eyes and looks at the garden again. The fountains, the lanterns, the flowers, all seem to shine more brightly, as if acknowledging his presence. He remembers another verse. Be like a tree, and let the dead leaves drop. Letting go of past fears, old grief, the burdens that weigh down the heart, letting them fall naturally, so that new light can enter. He rises and walks slowly through the garden, not seeking, not rushing, just moving in harmony with the night. Every step feels like a poem, every breath a verse. Rumi whispers in his heart, respond to every call that excites your spirit. The traveler feels a soft warmth in his chest, a gentle encouragement to follow the path within. Not a path marked by maps or signs, but a path illuminated by the quiet light of his own soul. The night deepens. Stars shimmer like scattered diamonds, and the moon casts a gentle glow over the garden. The fountains hum their song, and the flowers sway as if dancing to an unseen rhythm. The traveler stands in the center, arms open, heart receptive, ready to receive the next verse of wisdom, ready to listen, ready to feel, and Rumi's voice settles into him like a gentle tide. Wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. Don't look outside for love or for answers, for the garden you seek is the one you carry inside. The traveler breathes deeply, allowing the words to sink, to flow into every corner of his being. He realizes that the light he seeks, the love he yearns for, has been with him all along, within the quiet chambers of his own heart. He sits down beneath the tree again, watching the garden glow in the soft moonlight, and for the first time, he feels that he is exactly where he needs to be, a part of the eternal poem, a living verse. a soul awake. The traveler rises at dawn, leaving the quiet garden behind, and follows a narrow path that winds down toward a river. The morning mist hovers above the water, soft and pale, like a secret waiting to be discovered. The river flows endlessly, its surface catching the first golden threads of sunlight. It seems alive, singing a song older than time itself. Rumi's words echo in the traveler's mind. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. Be like a river and let the longing flow. He kneels by the riverbank, letting the water brush over his fingers, watching as it carries leaves, petals, and tiny ripples downstream. The river is patient, never clinging, never rushing, yet always moving toward its destiny. The traveler thinks of longing, of desires that tug at the heart, of dreams that hover just out of reach. He realizes now that longing is not a burden, but a bridge. It draws the soul toward its own reflection, toward what it truly seeks. He remembers another verse of Rumi. Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. The river seems to embody that wisdom, transforming sorrow into movement, grief into rhythm, and waiting into song. The traveler sits quietly, feeling the cool water slip between his fingers and allowing his heart to empty into the river. Each heartbeat echoes like a drum, each breath a silent chant. Let go, let flow, let love arrive in its own time. Heron rises from the river, its wings wide and silent, casting a fleeting shadow across the water. The traveler watches, knowing that patience and grace move together, and that longing, when embroiled, becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. He recalls Rumi's verse once more. The wound is the place where the light enters you. The river reflects that truth. Every ripple, every shimmer of sunlight, a message for the soul. Embrace what pulls at you. Welcome the ache. It carries you toward what you are meant to find. The traveler dips his hands into the river again, letting the water wash over him, feeling it cleanse his heart of impatience, of fear, of doubt. The river does not ask for understanding. It simply flows, teaching through its quiet persistence. He stands and walks along the riverbank, feeling the stones beneath his feet, listening to the gentle murmur of the water, allowing it to guide him inward. Each step is a meditation, each breath a verse of Rumi's eternal poem. The river widens, catching the sun's full light, turning its surface into liquid gold. The traveler stops, heart open, mind calm, and whispers softly, teach me to flow, teach me to wait, teach me to love without grasping. The water ripples in answer, the wind brushes against the trees, and the traveler feels the rhythm of the universe moving gently through him, through every longing, through every silent desire, through every quiet breath. He kneels once more, pressing his palm against the river, and says aloud to the flow, I am ready, I am open, I am here. The river carries his words away, but they return to him transformed, soft, luminous, alive, like a poem written on water, like a soul awakened to its own song. The traveler rises, and with one last look at the river, continues along the path, feeling the gentle pull of life and the patient rhythm of the heart guiding him ever onward. The traveller walks onward, leaving the river behind, following a narrow, winding path that leads into a secluded garden. The air is fragrant with jasmine, and the sunlight filters gently through the leaves, painting the ground in patterns of gold and green. Rumi's words drift in the traveller's mind. Don't get lost in your thoughts. Let them flow like water through the garden of your heart. The garden seems alive. Every leaf, every petal, every blade of grass. A silent teacher, a gentle reminder of the beauty in presence. A soft breeze moves through the trees, carrying whispers of ancient wisdom, and the traveller pauses, breathing slowly, allowing the garden to speak. In the center of the garden stands an old oak, its branches wide and welcoming, its roots deep and steady. Beneath it, a bench carved of stone invites rest. The traveller sits, closing his eyes, and listens to the quiet language of the garden. Rumi's words rise again in his memory. Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love. He feels the truth of this in his chest, a gentle tug, a reminder that love, like a garden, requires patience, attention, and surrender. A butterfly drifts across the path, its wings painted with colors of sunset, landing softly upon a flower, then lifting again without hesitation. The traveler smiles, realizing that even the smallest lives carry lessons of trust and timing. He recalls another of Rumi's verses. Try to accept the changing seasons of your heart, even as you would the seasons of the trees. The garden seems to nod in agreement, leaves rustling in gentle applause, and the traveller allows himself to feel the rhythm of change. Small bird lands on the branch above, singing a melody soft as silk, and he understands that patience and love are intertwined, so, like the roots and branches of the oak, they are not separate paths, but a single journey, a quiet unfolding. He opens his hands, palms up, resting in his lap, and imagines the garden as his heart, a place to plant seeds of kindness, to water with attention, and to watch bloom in their own time. Rumi's voice, as if from the leaves themselves, whispers, "Respond to every call that excites your spirit." The traveller nods, understanding that the heart knows what it seeks, and the soul will guide the way. And if only he listens with care and presence. He stands and walks slowly along the garden paths, pausing to touch a leaf, to smell a blossom, to notice the small miracles that often go unseen. The sun begins to tilt, casting long soft shadows across the ground. The garden hums with life, and the traveller feels a deep connection to all that is living, breathing, and waiting. Finally, he stops near a fountain, its waters dancing lightly in sunlight, and he gazes into its clear depths. Rumi's wisdom fills his heart. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other, doesn't make any sense. He sits, silent, feeling the garden breathe with him, its rhythm and calm becoming part of his own heartbeat. He understands that some truths are not spoken, but experienced, felt in the quiet, gentle unfolding of life itself. The traveller rises as the sun dips lower, leaving the garden with reverence in his steps, knowing that the lessons of patience and love are etched deeply into the soil of his soul. He walks onward, carrying the silent song of the garden with him in every heartbeat, in every breath, in every thought. The traveler walks along a quiet valley where the mountains stand like ancient guardians, their peaks dusted with snow, and the air carries the scent of pine and earth. Rumi's words echo softly in his mind. Respond to every call that excites your spirit. The valley seems to hum with a hidden energy, as though the wind itself carries messages. From the farthest corners of the heart, a gentle breeze stirs the traveler's hair, and he closes his eyes to feel it fully. It brushes against his cheeks, soft as a lover's touch, light as a whispered secret. Rumi's verse drifts to him again. Don't get lost in your thoughts. Let them flow like water through the garden of your heart. The traveler breathes deeply, allowing the wind to carry his worries away, leaving only the quiet rhythm of his own soul. A flock of birds arcs across the sky, their wings cutting through the light of the afternoon sun. He watches them and sees the lesson they offer. Freedom is found not in control, but in surrender, not in grasping, but in trusting the unseen currents of life. The wind picks up, rustling the leaves of the valley's trees, and it seems to speak to him, its voice subtle and its words almost imperceptible. Patience, traveler, is not idle waiting. It is the art of listening, of opening your heart to the rhythms of the world and learning from every small movement of life. The traveler kneels by a stream, letting the cool water run over his hands, and he hears Rumi again. Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love. The stream's flow mirrors the wind, moving forward with quiet determination. Carving paths through stone and soil without hurry, without resistance. He stands, feeling the wind swirl around him, lifting the edges of his robe, and he imagines it as a teacher, a friend that speaks in sighs and whispers, and in pauses and silences, showing him the invisible patterns that shape life. Rumi's words come again, like petals falling softly into his heart. Be like a tree, and let the dead leaves drop. The traveler closes his eyes and imagines letting go of every fear, every doubt, every weight that has held his spirit down. He lets them fall, carried by the wind, leaving only the quiet, steady pulse of life within him. The sun begins to lower behind the mountains, casting long shadows across the valley floor. The wind slows, becoming a gentle caress, like a blessing whispered in the ear of the traveler. He sits beneath a pine tree, watching the light fade, and feels a deep peace settle into his heart. The wind has shown him that patience is not a pause, but a presence, that love is not a grasp, but a letting go, and that wisdom is not in knowing, but in feeling, listening to the subtle currents of life. As twilight falls, the traveler rises, feeling a quiet strength and a lightness in his step. He carries the whisper of the wind with him, its lessons etched gently into his heart, ready to guide him through the night and into the days yet to come. Night drapes itself over the valley, and the stars begin to appear, one by one, like tiny lanterns scattered across the velvet sky. The traveler walks into a secluded garden, where the air is thick with the scent of jasmine, and the flowers bow gently under the weight of dew. Rumi's voice seems to rise from the petals. Respond to every call that excites your soul, and do not ignore the whispers of your heart. The traveler breathes deeply, letting the aroma of the night fill him, letting the soft hum of life calm him. The garden is silent, except for the distant murmur of a fountain, its water falling in rhythmic droplets, each one a soft tap on the soul, each one a reminder of patience. He walks slowly along the path, feeling the coolness of the stones beneath his feet, and pauses at a bench shaded by a willow. He sits and closes his eyes, listening to the subtle symphony of the night. Rumi's words drift to him like a breeze. Don't get lost in your thoughts. The soul sees what is invisible to the eye. The traveler imagines each flower as a secret, each shadow as a lesson, each drop of dew as a mirror of his own heart. A soft owl calls in the distance, its voice echoing through the trees, so he feels no fear, only a gentle understanding. That silence is a teacher, that the quiet moments hold the deepest truths. Rumi whispers again, "Be like a tree. Let the dead leaves drop. Let your heart shed what it no longer needs." The traveler leans back against the bench and imagines letting go of all the burdens that have weighed on him. One by one, they fall away, dissolving into the garden's gentle darkness. The fountain continues its rhythm, each drop of water a reminder that life flows even when we cannot see the path ahead. Rumi's voice comes softly again. Silence is the language of the soul. Learn to listen, and the heart will understand. The traveler opens his eyes and sees the garden illuminated by moonlight, the flowers glowing softly, the willow swaying like a gentle hand, guiding him into stillness. He rises, walking slowly back along the path, feeling a deep peace settle within him. He knows now that patience is not only in waiting, but in being fully present, and that love is not always expressed in grand gestures, but in the quiet attention we give to life. The night wraps him in its embrace, and he carries the garden's lesson in his heart, ready to face the days ahead with a calmer mind, a gentler heart, and a soul attuned to the subtle music of the world. Rumi's words linger in the air, like petals falling softly onto the earth. Move with the rhythm of the universe, and you will never be lost. The traveler steps out of the garden, and the stars watch over him, silent witnesses to his growing understanding. The night carries only the whispers of the wind, the soft rustle of leaves, and the steady rhythm of his own heart. The night air carries a soft chill, and the stars shimmer faintly above the hills. A river winds through the valley below, its waters glinting silver in the moonlight. The traveler approaches the bank, listening to the gentle murmur of the flowing water. Rumi's voice rises with the current. Be like the river. Do not resist the rocks. Do not fight the bends. Flow. Flow with the rhythm of life, and you will find your own way to the sea. The traveler kneels by the edge, letting his fingers touch the cool water, feeling the current tug softly at his skin. He watches a leaf drift along the surface, tumbling and turning, yet never losing its path. Rumi's words float through the night. Patience is like water. It does not force its course, yet it shapes the hardest stone. Love is the current that carries it. Gentle, persistent, and enduring. The river curves around a bend, disappearing into shadows, and the traveler feels a strange clarity, as if the water carries away the heaviness of his thoughts. Each ripple is a lesson, each swirl a reminder of life's delicate balance. He sits in silence, letting the sound of flowing water fill him, letting the night speak to him in its quiet language. Rumi whispers again, "Every soul has its own river. Some waters are swift, some are slow, some carry storms, some reflect the calm of the sky. All are necessary, all are beautiful." The traveler rises, following the river along its winding path, not rushing, not questioning, simply moving with it, feeling the patience and love embedded in its flow. A soft breeze brushes across his face, stirring the trees along the bank and carrying the faint scent of wildflowers. He hears Rumi's voice one last time. "Let your heart be open, let your mind be still, and let your soul wander freely, like the river that knows its journey but not its end." The moon rises higher, casting a silver path across the waters. The traveler steps into the riverbank's soft grass, watching the current continue, endless, patient, and unwavering. He understands that life, like the river, cannot be hurried, cannot be forced. It must be felt, it must be lived. The river's murmur blends with the night's silence, and the traveler feels a quiet joy rise within him. Rumi's words echo in his heart. "Flow, my child, and let love guide your passage. Flow and patience will shape you." He closes his eyes, listening to the river's song, feeling the rhythm of life, and knowing that he too is a river, wandering, learning, and carried by love. The stars glimmer above, the river glistens below, and the traveler walks along the bank, lightened and quietly transformed by the night's lesson. The night has deepened, and a cool breeze drifts through the quiet garden. The petals of the jasmine sway gently, releasing their subtle fragrance into the darkness. A solitary figure walks among the flowers, bare feet brushing the soft grass, hands hovering above the blooms as if not to disturb their peace. Rumi's voice flows softly through the garden. Silence is not empty. It is full of whispers. It is the soil where love grows and patience blossoms. The figure pauses by a small fountain, watching the water ripple with quiet motion, reflecting the moonlight like scattered diamonds. He dips his hand into the cool stream, letting the water run through his fingers slowly, feeling the gentle passage of time. Rumi continues, "A garden is not tamed in a day. Each seed must sleep in the earth. Each root must reach deep into the soil. Patience is the gardener's true companion, and love is the water that nourishes each plant." The figure kneels beside a young rose, its petals delicate, trembling in the night air. He whispers softly to it, not expecting an answer, simply honoring the life it holds. The rose leans slightly toward his hand, as if understanding the language of gentle attention. Rumi's words drift over the garden. Love grows in stillness. Patience thrives in quiet. Do not rush the blooming. Do not chase the fragrance. Sit in the garden of your heart and let the seasons do their work. The figure rises slowly, moving along the stone path that curves through the flowers. Each step is measured, each breath taken with awareness. He listens to the soft hum of night insects, to the rustle of leaves in the gentles, a wind, to the distant call of an owl. Rumi's voice lingers like the scent of jasmine. Patience is the understanding that life unfolds in its own rhythm. Love is the gentle force that tends the soul without demand. Both are needed, and both are quiet. In silence, we learn the deepest truths. The moonlight shines on a patch of lavender, casting soft shadows that stretch across the garden floor. The figure breathes in deeply while letting the scents of earth and flower fill his lungs, feeling a serene joy awaken in his chest. He sits on a low stone bench, closing his eyes, letting the night envelop him in its gentle embrace. He feels the pulse of the garden, the quiet movement of life, and understands that every moment, every silent breath, is a thread connecting him to the divine. Rumi whispers once more, "Do not hurry to understand. Do not seek to control the growth of the heart. Love quietly, wait patiently, and when the time is right, everything will bloom within you." The figure rises, walking slowly toward the garden gate, feeling a lightness in his step, a calm in his spirit, and a deep gratitude for the lessons of silence, love, and patience. The night holds the garden in a gentle embrace, and the stars above witness the quiet transformation of the soul. Rumi's voice fades softly into the rustling leaves, leaving only the hum of life. Steady, patient, and full of love. The first light of dawn begins to touch the edges of the sky, a pale gold spreading slowly over the horizon, mixing with the lingering violet of the night. The courtyard is quiet now, the seekers still seated on their carpets, hearts full yet calm, eyes reflecting the gentle glow of the lantern that has burned through the night. The elder sits at the center, his white beard catching the morning light, his robe soft against the cool stones beneath him. He breathes slowly, letting the rhythm of the day enter his being. His eyes sweep over the gathered souls, and he begins to speak, his voice carrying the weight of all that has been shared. "My children," he says softly, "you have traveled through the valleys of love and walked the quiet paths of patience. You have touched the fire of desire, the water of surrender, the air of freedom, and the earth of stillness. Each story has been a mirror, reflecting a fragment of truth. But there is one final parable, one last thread to weave into the tapestry of your soul. It is the parable of the phoenix and the flame." The seekers lean closer, their eyes wide, their hearts open. The elder continues, "Once, in a time beyond time, there was a flame, small, tender, yet unwavering, burned in the heart of a phoenix, bird of fire, whose wings had carried it through storms and darkness. This flame," the elder whispers, "was not kept for the phoenix alone. It was a gift to all who sought warmth, light, and courage. Yet the flame could not grow without the phoenix's care, and the phoenix could not soar without the flame." The courtyard grows still. Even the wind pauses in its path as the seekers feel the weight of the story in their bones. "Many try to hold love like a flame in a jar," the elder continues, "or patience like a stone in their hand. But the phoenix knows, and so must you, that love must be nurtured, and patience must be allowed to breathe. To soar is to release, to rise is to endure. To be fully alive is to carry both, the flame and the wings. This is the truth of the soul, that love and patience are not possessions, but companions on the journey of being." The elder pauses, letting the silence settle, like the soft dusting of dawn over the earth. The seekers feel their hearts expand, with understanding, and with gratitude. Remember, he says, the stories do not end here. They live in you, in the quiet moments, in the storms, in every choice, in every breath. You are the phoenix, and the flame is within you. Walk into the world with love, he whispers. Walk with patience. Let your heart be both strong and tender, your spirit steady, your soul open, and in time you will see that the flame you carry lights the path not only for yourself, but for all who seek. The lantern flickers one last time, and the sun rises fully, gold spilling across the courtyard, shadows retreating, and the seekers rise, their steps quiet, their hearts full, the final parable. The elder watches them go, a gentle smile on his lips, knowing the stories will travel with them, woven into the fabric of their lives. And, as the courtyard empties, the wind whispers through the tree, carrying the lessons of love and patience, of flame and wings, to every soul ready to listen. The night and day meet in harmony, and the final thread of the story settles gently into the hearts of all who were present. Thus ends the journey of the parables and the whispers of the soul. As the story fades into silence, may its whispers stay with you, guiding your heart gently onward. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more calming tales and timeless wisdom. Thank you.